Inside the criteria for placing learners in senior schools after KJSEA. As Kenya transitions fully into the competency-based curriculum, CBC, the placement of grade 9 learners into senior schools, grade 10. This year marks a major milestone in education reform. With the release of the 2025 Kenya Junior School Education Assessment, KJSEA, results, the Ministry of Education has outlined the criteria that determine whether more than 1.1 million learners will continue their education in senior secondary schools in 2026. 1. Holistic assessment, the 60-20-20 formula. Unlike the old 8-4-4 system that relied heavily on final exam marks, the new CBC placement model blends multiple assessments to paint a comprehensive picture of each learner's abilities. 60% from KJSEA results, the national summative assessment taken at the end of grade 9. 20% from school-based assessments, SBA, continuous evaluations from grades 7 and 8, including classwork, projects, and practicals. 20% from KJSEA, results from the grade 6 Kenya Primary School Education Assessment. Nation Africa +1. This weighted approach reflects the CBC's focus on ongoing learning and competency development rather than a single test score. 2. Performance levels rather than aggregate marks. Under the CBC system, learners no longer receive an overall aggregate score for KJSEA. Instead, their performance is reported across 4 performance levels: exceeding expectations, meeting expectations, approaching expectations, and below expectations, each subdivided into 2 to create an 8-point scale. This means that placements are informed by competency across subjects, rather than simply summing marks. The approach allows strengths in specific learning areas to be recognized independently, aligning learners to pathways where they are most likely to succeed. 3. Pathways and learner choices. Senior secondary education under CBC is organized into 3 main learning pathways, enabling learners to specialize based on interests and aptitudes: STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics; social sciences, arts and sports science. Placement into a senior school includes matching learners to the pathway best suited to their performance levels and stated preferences. Learners also submit their choices of preferred schools and pathways as part of the selection process. 4. School selection guidelines. Learners are typically required to choose multiple senior schools when making their placement options, often a list of up to 12, including both boarding and day schools, to increase the chances of placement based on performance and capacity. These choices take into account boarding versus day school preferences, location, both within and outside the learner's home county, subject pathways offered by each school, school capacity, and available resources. 5. Equity, capacity, and automation. The placement process is largely automated using a digital system managed by the Ministry of Education, designed to promote fairness, equity, and efficiency. Factors such as regional balance, gender, and special needs considerations are used to ensure all learners are placed appropriately. According to education officials, the system also takes into account psychometric factors, such as learner interests, aptitudes, and talents, to help guide them into pathways where they can thrive. 6. Reporting and revision windows. Once placements are issued, typically before Christmas, learners and parents receive official notification of the senior school and pathway assigned. There is often a short window for revision requests should families feel the placement is not suitable. 7. A fully inclusive transition. The Ministry of Education has assured parents that 100% of learners who sat KJSEA will be placed into senior school. The current infrastructure, including both public and private institutions, has the capacity to absorb the first CBC cohort. Conclusion. Kenya's senior school placement process under CBC marks a significant shift from traditional exam-based ranking to a competency-based, learner-centered system. By integrating continuous assessment, performance levels, learner preferences, and automated placement technology, the education system aims to support every learner in finding the senior school pathway that best fits their strengths and ambitions.